So if your wife is in that region and yourself you are in a different region,
Yes.
which has a different party, I think it's fair you allow each to support, to join whichever party is popular.
Yeah.
But I would also want to tell the voters and the general public, when you see people in different political outfits, it does not necessarily mean they're enemies. Their interest is to win the seat, is to get to power.
Right.
Actually, the politicians themselves, they keep on telling us that in politics, there are no permanent enemies, there are no permanent friends. It's all about interest. So when you see my wife on this party vying, when you see me on this party vying, we are not divided per se. We are still united in the interest. It is only that we have appreciated that for me to achieve my interest, I need to be in UDA. For her to achieve her interest, she needs to be in Azimio. But back in the evening, we are one Kimani family.
Yes. And Liz, we also saw like the Kajwang brothers. One becomes a senator on a different party, another one becomes an MP on a different party, another one becomes an MCA on a different party. And these are brothers, damu moja. You know, it's different. Bibi na bwana mnaweza achana useme wewe kwenda huko ukolewa wasi na watu wako wa UDA, mimi ndaenda kutafuta mtu wa Azimio. These are brothers, you can't tell them enda ukwe brother wa Azimio.
You know, it's interesting also, there is also the Kindikis.
The Kindikis.
Yes. For me, if I'm a parent, I would be so proud that I've brought up my children in a way that each of them can express themselves fully and feel good that they've expressed themselves. So for me, it's a wonderful thing. But when it comes to some topics as a couple, it's politics. It will come, it will go. In your mind, think about it this way. There is hot topic and there is normal topic. Hot topic, if you feel haingiani, tafadhali just leave it, because you do not have to discuss it. There are things that in a relationship you do not have to discuss it because they do not add any value to your life. But there are those that are important to discuss and they are good to discuss them. But those are not. And they are hot.
Right.
Usishike chuma ukiona ya moto.
Utachomeka bure.
Utachomeka bure na uharibu relationship kwa sababu ya UDA. Na Azimio. Na alafu kesho wanapendana na wanaongea.
Na wewe yako imevunjika.
Yes, because I loved the behind scenes what he was saying. These people were laughing together. Then all of a sudden there was a press conference and they became enemies. Ni sisi tunachezwa.
George, there's a family in Nakuru. Abu ilikuwa ngani Nakuru where there was a lady who became an MCA on a different party, and the son-in-law became an MCA. So they're in the same house. That is now the county assembly on different sides. So how do you deal with such an in-law? Nyinyi mnataka kuangusha maybe a particular thing they're trying to pass in parliament. How do you handle that?
But hiyo ni job.
You
need
job.
it. Yes, ni kazi.
And it's about interest. It's about interest. And
kama wewe kama police, as a police officer, would you arrest your mother-in-law if you found her doing a crime? You know you can't.
No,
you know that is law, eh?
Yeah.
That's law. That we can't bargain.
Yes.
If I find my relative committing a crime,
yes,
that one I'm supposed to arrest them and follow the due process. But in this one about interest, actually, I also come from finance. There's something we call diversification.
Right.
You go this side, when you win, we eat together. If I go this side, I win, we eat together.
Right.
So that at the end of the day, we don't come home empty-handed. Yes. If you see, when you go to one side, there's a possibility that you will win, so you bring back a lot. There's also a possibility you lose, so you come home with nothing.
Yes.
But when we spread out, there is no possibility that you come home with nothing.
True.
Because if my side has lost, your side has won. So in the evening, we have something. So it's okay.
Liz,
yes.
How do you deal with your mother-in-law on the other side of the camp? You already have how MPs and MCAs act. Wanatukanana, wanaambiana vitu chafu. They blackmail each other. How do you, even as a mother-in-law, how would you treat your son-in-law in the same parliament?
You know, the thing is this, is that they know ni kazi. And when they're out there, it is all an act. But some, they become too emotional. Some are too much. And that is why we need, in the political arena, we need to have discipline of words that we use. Because kuna zingine watu wameongea mpaka unashangaa sikusikia. So if your mother-in-law is on the other side, my friend, tame your tongue.
Yeah.
Because you do not have to say things that are so demeaning and critical and affecting and attacking somebody's character and the person they are to be able to win. because that way you will actually not win. So the best thing is tame your tongue. In fact, all politicians, tame your tongue.
Right.
Then the keyboard warriors, tame your fingers. I mean, saa ingine tuna type, tunasema vitu.
Yeah.
Ukiangalia like a year later, or not even a year, 2 weeks later, you're thinking it's me who wrote that. And this is what my candidate has done. And you're thinking, really?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So it is important for all of us to regulate. What do I say? At what time? And with who? And be considerate of the other side of the party.
Okay.
Before you lose out on that point,
Right.
Buvi, I want to add on to what she's saying. We have numerous cases of family members who have vied on different political outfits.
Right.
But you have not heard evidence of them attacking each other in the public. They can differ in terms of opinions, in terms of policies, but personal attacks we have not seen. I was just remembering of a case in Machakos.
Yeah.
There was the husband on one side and the wife on the other side. And in the usual political exchanges, some people now would hurl insults to the husband. And the wife stood akasema, he's still my husband.
Yeah.
Be careful what you are saying.
Exactly,
Yes,
yeah.
he's still my
Husband.
husband. Even
Yes.
as much as yeye ako ile mrengo na mimi niko hii mrengo, bado ni bwana yangu.
Kuja
Yes.
pole pole.
Yes, kuja pole pole.
Yes, come through.
And that's
Which is what
I
she
think
did.
that's how it is supposed to be.
Yes, yes.
Let's argue on opinion.
And actually,
Yes.
eventually, the wife won the seat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Which is
Congrats
nice.
to them.
I like
Unaona
the
saa
way
unga imekuja nyumbani
Yeah.
ingawa.
Bado, yes, yes.
Okay, who do we have on our WhatsApp? I'm sure you guys are tweeting or are typing away on WhatsApp. It's only in marriage where one knowingly but reluctantly sleeps with the enemy. It gets worse when that enemy is of a different political conviction, because you are soon likely to have to choose between a guillotine and a firing squad. This is Ugambi. I think he's saying that he's a scribe.
Hiyo mi nakataa. I keep saying, you know, we have...
Unakataa nini? Sleeping with the enemy, ama?
Why are you calling the person you're sleeping with your enemy?
No, he has said enemy in quotes.
quotes.
Yes.
But what does that mean?
I think in ile namaanisha you will obviously always have a difference in opinion. Not in everything, but in something. I don't know. Maybe
That's
how
a very
do you
strong. That's a very strong word, because why talk about an enemy with your partner, with your spouse? They should never be your enemy. They should be your ally.
Yeah.
Yes, you will differ, because we say in my community, when two axes are in one basket, they will gongana. That's a fact. But you cannot talk about your partner, your spouse, an enemy. We have religialized marriage so much that you cannot separate. My friend, your life is more important and your children's life than stay in a toxic, bad marriage or relationship and call it enemy because of society, of religion. No. You better live than be in a situation like that. Never call your spouse an enemy.
Actually, to add on to that,
Yes.
you should also not call your wife or your husband a fool.
Exactly.
Because you are differing on opinion.
Okay.
Opinion, as we said earlier on, is a perception. And everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Right.
And no one is right or wrong. We actually say the beauty is on the eye of the beholder. And we must grow to a level where we allow other people to express difference in opinion. You only become a fool if you are getting a fact wrong. For example, 1 + 1 we all know is 2.
Right.
Now, if you tell us 1 + 1 is 3, now we can call you a fool.
Yeah.
But when you look at something that is not factual, something that is a perception, and you take a different opinion, you are not a fool. Yeah.
It's
Actually, the person calling you a fool, in my own wisdom now, I would say that they are the ones who should be called fools, because they have failed to appreciate that we look at things in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's God-given. It's God-given. Actually, when you look at the Bible, it's full of very many instances where God tells us that if you choose this one, this is what will happen. Yeah, it's God-given.
You know, during the break, we did mention something to do about voting. For example, Liz, you are voting in Nairobi, and your husband is voting in Bomet. So now, and we need to be together as a family during this period, because hatujui kutakuwaje, tunaweza maliza kura, Kenya iwake, tengo dai kuwaka. So dile bibi bwana ana insist twende Bomet, and you're like, no, I vote in Westlands, I need to vote. So now, how do we deal with
Ako
that?
kalikuwa ka story na watu wengi sana. Because there's somebody who called me akaniambia, unajua nikiangalia wife naona ako UDA. Na juu mimi niko Azimio, nimempanga panga. me I go
Twende
vote.
ushago.
Yeye
Asivote.
yeye asivote, nikamwacha tu shughuli hivi, na nikiangalia pengine hata vote, lakini akienda ni sawa, lakini ninaona tuna vote different sides.
Yeah.
So, and I think he also said the same thing. I think the thing is this, is that allow people to be and have an arrangement that you're not manipulating the other, because no adults want to be manipulated, none whatsoever. So your spouse, let them be, let them express what they feel is okay. They vote this side or this side. TV ni moja kwa nyumba. Tutaichapa basi tukiona mwenyewe. Heri mchape TV lakini msichapane. Mta replace TV lakini mkichapana mwezi replace your relationship. So the thing is this, allow people to express themselves. Don't manipulate your spouse that hata madhe anakuhitaji sana so tuende. Let the person vote, organize venye atafika home. Na hata ukimfanyia hivyo pengine atata vote side yako. Ama kudanganya na vote side yako na hata vote side yako. So it's a secret ballot.
I mean,
And I also think people must understand even the concept of democracy.
Right.
Democracy is about the rule of majority.
Yes.
And it is founded on the realization that people will perceive things in different ways. So Kenya Kwanza presents their manifesto. Azimio presents their manifesto. There are those people who believe in the manifesto ya Azimio. There are those who believe in the manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza. Not necessarily they are right or wrong. But now democracy says, if that is the case, then let's come and be counted. Those who are thinking it is Azimio, musimame hapa. Those who are thinking it's Kenya Kwanza, musimame hapa. We are counted through IEBC. And those who be found to be many, they are given the way to rule. And that is the concept.
Right.
So it is something that is even recognized by government. Yeah. So don't call anyone a fool. Don't be bitter. Don't label them enemies.
Right.
It is something that is generally accepted.
And Liz, you know, how does it extend also to the kids, seeing their parents fighting over Raila and Ruto, Wajakoya and Bishop David? Like, unajua sasa tunakaa hivi tunashangaa sasa. Tulikuwa sawa until 9th of August.
Even before 9 of August, pressures zinaanzanga kamwezi kakikuja karibia because temperatures zina rise. Then we stop now looking at the manifestos, we start looking at the person.
Personality.
It becomes now it is the person.
Yeah.
But the one thing we need to realize is that politics are done, it's a game. But when now work and government starts to work,
Right.
it is the civil servants, the people in offices who will make things work. And for me, I'm calling out to civil servants. Please work, do the work you're supposed to do. Higher. The president, yes, will have agendas, manifestos, but at the end of the day, they are what government wanted to do even before. So some things are already in government, they're already in alignment already. So they just come and hype them, and we feel this one has a better one than the other, or this one doesn't have. But at the end of the day, what we need to realize is that these people are selling to us an idea. So when your children see how you're taking sides, maybe unatukanana, unasema huyu sijui ni nini, huyu, that is what you're teaching your children. And so it is, that's why I said, tame your mouth. When you're with your children, like Monday, it was a very interesting day in the evening. We are all there listening, even the kids. And myself, I made the kids sit so that wasikize hizo choir, wazijue, because hizo nyimbo ni important. Kwa sababu hawakufanya music fest this term. You know, this term was music fest, second term. They didn't do it, so they didn't learn those songs. And they're like, Mom, what are you telling us to do? But it is important for them to see. Then now, when you're with your children, tame your mouth. Because maybe the father is supporting Azimio, the mother is supporting UDA. Whoever wins, at the end of the day, tame your mouth because of your children. Because your children will support the person you're supporting automatically.
True. George, there were issues, and especially when it comes now to that whole support system, because now you start looking at your wife as a different person, because of course there were political parties that were associated with certain things. You know, for example, Roots Party walikuwa wanaangaliwa kama watu wamechizi because they're talking about snakes and bangi and I don't know what other things I've forgotten, hyenas and all that. So if your husband is supporting that one, you're thinking, niliani niliolewa na mtu wa bangi. Or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You might not be married. Maybe you just met this person 2 weeks ago. And you're thinking, lakini huyu msichana, ani anapenda stories za bangi sana. And you start judging them based on the political party they're supporting. What do you think probably that is doing to people out here?
Somehow, the political affiliation may bring out some convictions about a person. But before you make a conclusion on their convictions, it is good you take time and interrogate. Because chances are very high. There is what attracted me to Azimio. There is what attracted me to Kenya Kwanza. There is what attracted me to Roots. There is what attracted me to Agano. So it could be an indicator. It could be an indicator. So it's good you investigate. But don't be quick to make a conclusion that huyu ni mtu wa bangi, huyu ni mtu sijui wa nyoka ama nini, huyu ni mwizi, huyu ni muganga. No. Yeah. They are different values.
Yes.
Like now I could see one of the reasons why we were on different sides with my wife.
Right.
We were in the same side all along until Mother Karua came in.
Right.
Yeah. Sasa akasema, this is a lady, I'm a lady, I must support the lady. So for her, it is supporting the lady. Me, I'm saying, no, I must support this other side. So you see that not a different thing. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So parting shots, we've come to the end of the show, Liz. Maybe what can you tell people when it comes to supporting or not supporting political parties in the bedroom?
I think let's leave bedroom matters to romance and intimacy. And no matter which political side you support, remember that politics come and go. And as we've said, they come back and they handshake and they become friends. And then after 5 years now, we have a different class of people coming together. But you, with your spouse, remember you are in this thing together for life, for a purpose. And at the end of the day, understand each other, be empathetic, and always find a common ground, because the common ground is what brings you together and helps you understand each other. But if you're dating and you realize your values really are differing too much, then it's time for you to rethink. Is this the journey I'm going to go to or not? As we have said, somebody is supporting maybe a lot of bangi and you've met the person, you're thinking, let me find out more. If you see your values are not in line, please, ondoka, because you're just dating. But when you're in a marriage, a long-term relationship, already you know each other's values. But keep checking, because people grow, people change.
Yeah.
And if you find your spouse, there's somebody who I know whose spouse became an atheist, and before they were Christians, born again in, you know, very inside church. But at the time he became an atheist, and he thought, the things I did when I was a Christian, I do not need them in this marriage too.
Yeah.
Now, with such a thing, what do? You will let the person go, but then you're like, that is their value. What do you do? So we respect each other's values, but at the same time, ensure that your values are either in line, or if they're not in line, understand the other person, get a common ground.
All right.
Don't break it because of politics.
Before George says something, let's take a look at one last one. Buju, hi Movie, my boyfriend told me he was undecided on which presidential candidate to vote for and that he never voted. But when the president-elect was announced, he told me he voted for him. I mean, mbona alinidanganya? It's a free world. Singe mchapa. Okay. Comments as we end.
Maybe the person realized that if I told you my position, utakasirika,
That's the hot topic.
utaanza kuni persuade I go to your side. So to keep peace. Actually, if you look at psychology, one of the ways of managing conflicts is avoiding. So I just keep quiet, or I tell you I'm not voting. But when now it is the time, I tell you I voted, there is nothing you can do.
Right.
So it is okay. Now, to add on to what she has said, I would urge couples to just be very faithful to the core things that brought them together as a husband and wife. Those are the things that should be taken to the bedroom and should remain in the bedroom. These are the things they should be discussed elsewhere and they should not get to the bedroom, including politics, including wealth, including education, religion. Those things we never agreed with my wife when we were getting married. And there are things that come and they change. But the core things that we agreed with my wife, they will remain until we die.
Okay.
My parting shot is that people should move on. Those who have lost, they should be allowed to express their emotions of sorrow and sadness. Those who have won, they should celebrate in a way that is balanced. Take care of the other person as you celebrate.
How can we reach you?
You can get me through my phone number, which is 0720 322 961. 0720 322 961. In town, I'm based at the Bazaar Plaza, 11th floor.
Destiny, it's called Destiny.
It is called Destiny Technical Training Institute.
Yes.
We train accountants. Intake is ongoing. Actually, running is starting today for the exams that will be done in December.
Okay.
So anyone who has C- can join for the diploma. D+ can join for the certificate. C+ can join for professional. And our fee is very user-friendly. We have online and physical classes. Hata kama uko Mombasa ama Moyale ama wherever.
Kusoma inaendelea.
Utasoma.
Okay.